And I would do 10,000 reps. Well, would you? And why would you? Well, if you'd had a stroke, and about 10 people in this room will have a stroke, leaving some of them with a permanent disability, you need to do many reps of specific exercises to create new pathways from your brain to your muscles to regain functional movements such as walking again. And the research tells us that you need to do hundreds of repetitions each day to recreate those neural pathways. As an example of what you might do, I'm going to ask you to stand up and sit down. That's it, good. That might be one exercise, you can stop. That might be just one exercise you need to do. You need to do hundreds of repetitions of that. You also need to do hundreds of repetitions of exercises to improve your balance, your walking, your arm movement, your hand movements, adding up to thousands of repetitions of exercise every day. This is our research quandary because we know what needs to be done, but we do not know how to do it. Currently, in stroke rehabilitation units, people usually do less than 100 reps a day if you include all of their exercises. So my research is addressing that how-to gap that we have. My first research is around this strategy. Vinko is doing what we label semi-supervised exercise in the rehab gym. He's exercising without the immediate presence of a therapist, and this means that he can spend hours in the rehab gym and complete a lot more exercise. But to convince the therapists that this is a good strategy, I need to prove that it's safe and that it's effective. So I've done an observation study in this rehab gym, and I have over 1,000 observations of people exercising in this gym. Over half of them are as semi-supervised exercise. Nobody fell over, there were no adverse events. Yes, it can be done safely. Is it effective? I have some case study data to answer that question. This lady, Ostea, has had a stroke. She's walking very slowly and she needs assistance. 2 weeks later, she's 4 times faster and she's independent. What did she do in those 2 weeks? She did 10,000 reps each week. 90% of it was done as semi-supervised exercise. If she hadn't had that, she would have done 1,000 reps, but with the semi-supervised exercise, 10,000 reps a week. My second body of research is around how we motivate people to exercise. One answer is technology. Stella here has a very weak arm from a stroke, and she's playing a computer game while she does her arm exercises. I'm an investigator on a very large multi-centre clinical trial looking at the impact of technology in rehabilitation. But very specifically within that study, I'm collecting data on how many reps do people do of one exercise when they do it with technology and when they do it without technology, and what is their rating of perceived exertion. My hypothesis is that when people use technology to exercise, they do more reps, but they don't perceive themselves to be working any harder. I'm still collecting data, almost finished on that study. My last study is looking at motivational instructions. To show you what I mean, I'm going to ask you to stand up and sit down again for 5 seconds and go, and go! 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 And stop. So, you probably, oh, there's more goes. You probably went much, much faster than you did the first time, simply because of motivational instructions. Nobody has ever quantified this in stroke survivors before. I have quantified it in people without stroke, and they do go 3 times faster. But nobody has quantified it in stroke, and I'm currently designing a study to do that. So stroke is the leading cause of adult disability. We need to know how we make this happen. How do we create the conditions for people to be doing 10,000s of reps? And my research will help to answer that question so that people can do 10,000 reps and 10,000 more until they're walking out of that hospital door. Thank you.